Hello there, it is Quinn here and we are back with another video, and I just finally made it home from the Black Ops 4 world reveal, and it was a bit longer of a trip than I expected. It took about 5 months, so I do apologize for the short gap in uploads, but I'm finally back home and can make some videos on Black Ops 4 Zombies, and I have to say, this event was amazing, and I have a lot to talk about, way more than I could ever fit into this video, but this video is just going to be me just telling you guys so much of what I learned speaking to both Jason Blundell and Craig Houston. I was fortunate enough to be able to spend a lot of time asking both of those guys questions and just speaking with them, and from those few conversations they really did give us a lot of insight into what they have planned moving forward with the storylines, plural, of Black Ops 4 Zombies. Jason made it very clear that the studio was planning on telling 2 separate stories throughout the life of this game. One is a direct follow-up to the ongoing Aether storyline, and another with these new fresh characters that we just met on Thursday, who sound as though they're going to be one of our crews for the foreseeable future. And from everything we were told, which we can freely speak about, it does not sound like this crew is going to be like the Shadows crew or the Call of the Dead crew, where they just show up shortly, maybe for 1 or 2 maps, and then we just kind of leave them behind. Jason remained pretty adamant throughout our entire Q&A that they wanted to tell 2 separate stories. He said something to the effect of, the studio at one point in time was trying to figure out how they could tell this new story that they really wanted to tell while still keeping the fans of the Aether storyline happy, and they just decided at one point in time, why not both? Why don't we just tell both stories at the same time? And I'm sure the first question on all of your minds is, because it popped up for me too, how are they going to hold together 2 completely separate storylines throughout a full DLC season, whatever that will be for Black Ops 4, with only 1 map per DLC? If these stories are truly independent of each other, how on earth can they keep this up? And we did ask what they're planning for DLC, and Jason told us he really can't tell us anything when it comes to what they have planned for the future. I don't even know if there's going to be a season pass at all. I really think they're going to completely scrap the season pass and instead do something entirely different. And I also think we're going to be getting 2 zombie maps per DLC. I think it was COD Zombies HQ who asked if there could possibly be multiple maps per DLC, and Jason gave his standard cryptic answer, but said something to the effect of, each DLC will keep both fans of both storylines happy. Now, if it turns out that these 2 storylines interweave right off the bat and they were kind of fibbing to us, that doesn't really mean anything, but he really stood his ground that they were telling 2 separate stories throughout the life of this game. And if I were a betting man, I would absolutely go out on a limb and say we're not getting the standard 1 Zombies map per DLC this year. I think the season pass, or even if there is a standard season pass, is going to look a lot different this year. I definitely don't know that for a fact, but I think it's really likely. I was around Jason and Craig Houston for a few hours during this event. Now, all of that wasn't a Q&A, some of it was just casual hanging out, but it was very clear that they are very, very excited for what they have planned for Black Ops 4, and I think they know where they're going and what they're doing. Every question we asked, they immediately knew what page we were on and what we were trying to say and where the community's mind was. I guarantee if you had a concern moving from the last game into this one, Jason, Craig, and the rest of the team took their time to address that and decide what was the best move possible moving forward. Craig in particular spoke about how he was very aware of the impossibility of making everyone happy. He said even from past experience that people don't really want answers to certain questions, they just want their own answer to be confirmed. Now, that's not every player, but it's undeniable that certain members of this community will throw an absolute fit if things just don't go the way they expect them to, and that's a mentality I really won't understand. There are certain things that I don't agree with when they happen, but for the most part, I like to be surprised. I wouldn't read a book if I already knew what happened in the 3rd act, and a payoff really isn't a payoff if your only satisfaction is just knowing that you guessed correctly. Now, moving back to the questions that were actually asked, I personally had one question that I really wanted to ask the 2 of them from the very beginning. The second I started thinking about it, I knew I couldn't pass up the opportunity to see how the 2 of them felt about this, and it was the one thing that irritated me moving from Garode Kroby onward during Black Ops 3, and I just wanted to know if they were even aware of it. If you've been a fan of COD Zombies from before BO3, I'm sure this is a question that you've wanted answers to forever, and when I got the chance to ask, I was blown away, because during the Q&A, for the most part, Jason and Craig gave pretty short, to the point, well, not really to the point, they were cryptic, but they were short and condensed, 30-second to a minute answers. But to this question, they both went on for 5 to 10 minutes, and it was very clear that this was something that they think about during each and every DLC, and it was extremely evident that their team is constantly looking far into the future while not forgetting about the past in any way, shape, or form, and making smart, calculated decisions every step of the way. And I don't mean to blue ball you, but I'm going to make a separate video entirely about that question, because what the two of them said got me excited nearly as much as the mob remaster did. I also think a lot of the community members were very concerned after seeing the trailer for 9. Some players are under the impression that there will only be melee weapons on that map, and no, we did not get a direct answer to this, but we had our Q&A in a room that was themed around that map. There was a statue of the masked man and a ton of weapons on the wall, and you can't even tell in that image, but one of the weapons is a blunderbuss. It's not a club like some people seem to think. It's a blunderbuss. There's absolutely no chance we're going to only be using melees on 9, especially with the huge guy that was shown in the trailer. There's a lot we were told that's hard to put into words, but Jason specifically said he would never show the final boss in a trailer. He wasn't specifically speaking about 9 or even Black Ops 4, but just take that for what you will. I do think 9 is the only map I'm not personally entirely sold on, but I've only seen an intro cinematic, and I'm sure the map has a lot more to offer. I mean, we're in the middle of May. It feels strange to even know as much as we do, but here we are. I really never thought that I would be as excited for a game again as I was for Black Ops 3, but Black Ops 4 has absolutely done that, and I think my excitement levels have been exceeded. I left the event blown away, and personally, Voyage of Despair is by far what I'm most excited about. When I was growing up, I was fascinated by the Titanic, and the fact that these worlds are colliding and the ship is colliding with an iceberg is almost too much to believe. And of course, Blood of the Dead is exciting, although we were all expecting that, but even so, Mob of the Dead has always been one of my favorite maps. I don't know if it can take the top spot when my boy Nuketown still exists, but Black Ops 2 is my favorite zombies experience, and the zombies in Black Ops 4 looks like a mix of BO2 and BO3, taking the best elements from both and making something incredible. And I know some people are wary of this new story, and I kind of understand that, but I just have to say, and this is entirely my opinion, I don't buy it. I'm sure these two stories will connect, maybe not in an on-the-nose way, but they will. I really do think they will. I was speaking to Reed about this, and he absolutely agrees. As the season progresses, I'm sure we'll see more and more just how these two universes tie into each other, and how this piece of the puzzle fits, because even from the trailer, there are a few things that give some credence to that idea. I think from the moment we play the first map, we'll start to see those threads, how one universe will affect another, and potentially not knowingly to the characters in the map, but in some way. I mean, if we load into Voyage of Despair and pull a ray gun from the box, there we go. All I want personally is for these two universes to have some connecting threads. I don't need anything direct or on the nose. I don't really need fan service. I just want to know that I can be on the lookout for little threads from one universe to another, because I don't think they should throw everything away, and I really don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to do the community justice, because it seemed to me that Jason and Craig have a story in place they really want to tell, and I don't want them to be held back in any way. And I think they've earned our trust from putting out consistent quality throughout the years, and I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the ride and probably stream Nuketown Zombies way more than I should leading up to release, because I left this event blown away. I'm incredibly thankful to have been invited. I'm incredibly thankful to have seen everyone yet again. It's always an absolute blast. I do appreciate what Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer have tried to do these past few years, but only Treyarch could get me this hyped right off the bat. But guys, if you enjoyed the video and could drop me a like, I would really appreciate it. And also, I want you to comment down below which map you are most excited for, Voyage of the Dead, 9, or Blood of the Dead. I really would love to know how the community is feeling. But guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Wait! I have one more thing to say. Zombros is now on iTunes. It's a podcast I do with Reed and Johnny J25. You probably already know that. If you haven't yet, go over to iTunes, subscribe, and leave us a rating. It really does help out the podcast, and believe me, we are working hard to make Zombros something special. I cannot wait to see where this podcast is a year from now, and I do have an extra Black Ops 4 water bottle. They are made out of metal. They gave them out to creators at the event, and somehow I ended up with an extra. So I will give one of those to you who go over there and leave us a rating. Just mention my name in the rating so I know where you're coming from, so I know who to give it to. They're super nice. I don't even think you can get them anywhere else. I think they were exclusive to the event. And man, I'm just really excited for BO4. World War II is just not for me, and most of the zombies YouTubers feel similarly. It's a nice little distraction on DLC, but Bo4, I mean, we are months away from release, and I am already dying to play it. So sorry for this little after show. I would really encourage you to go over there and leave us a rating and subscribe and win this little beautiful water bottle. Just remember to comment in like the rating that you're coming from me so I know who to give it to, because this water bottle, it's said that drinking water from this bottle will make you a god at Call of Duty Zombies. So I would definitely get on that. All right, once again, thank you so much for watching, and bye again.